Hi friends, Living Fit with Laura on this very, very beautiful morning. This is one of my favorite places to go, Red Hill Drive. Each day we say the prayer. Each day we keep up our routine of reasonable, sustainable, consistent, healthy exercise. We don't go on binges of boot camp type exercise that we cannot sustain. We don't go on unreasonable eating plans, fasting, or strange and weird diets or food plans that taste terrible and that we can't sustain. The key is consistency. What we do most of the time creates who we are. What we do most of the time creates who we are. So we want to find a consistent, sustainable food plan and exercise plan that we can enjoy. I think Daisy sees a squirrel. We want a consistent, reasonable, enjoyable, and sustainable exercise plan that we can enjoy. What good does it do us if we keep up an exercise routine or a food plan, lose a couple pounds, hate it, we're miserable, and then we're back to binging? So let's take a look at the deeper issues of why we resist exercise, resist weight loss. What's the payoff to stay fat? What is the payoff to stay sedentary? Likewise, what is the payoff to stay mad at people? What is the payoff to stay depressed? There's always a payoff, otherwise we wouldn't keep doing it. Sometimes the payoff is self-pity. Sometimes the payoff is getting attention from people. Maybe the payoff is we have an excuse for not living our lives well. After all, how dare that person offend us from 5 or 10 or 15 years ago? It doesn't matter if we have been offended or hurt 5 minutes ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago. What matters is how we are creating our own misery by hanging on to that resentment. What matters is how we are holding the bar low instead of raising the bar for ourselves and holding the bar high and living well so we can leave a legacy. What is the legacy you want to leave? I want to leave a legacy of hope. I want to leave a legacy of possibility that all of us can have a fit, healthy life. All of us can have joy into our 60s, 70s, and 80s or 90s until God takes us home. Fitness is not only for people in their 20s or people who have money that can afford expensive gyms. Fitness is not for people that are genetically gifted with lean bodies or long legs. Fitness is for everyone. Fitness is more than what the number on the scale says. Fitness is our wellness. Fitness is how well do we sleep at night? How much do we enjoy our lives? How much do we think about ourselves versus thinking about what can we do for someone else? Fitness is much more than the number on the scale. So let's ask ourselves, what is the payoff for not getting fit? What is the payoff for not losing those 5, 10, 20, 30 pounds? What is the payoff for sitting, watching TV all day, eating junk food? The payoff maybe, could it be familiarity? We are familiar with it. We are used to it. We feel it is impossible to lose the weight. We feel we are too old, or we are not worthy, or we are so out of shape it's intimidating. So we don't start. We don't know what to do. We don't know where to start. I'll tell you where to start now. The time to start is now. The way we start is right now. We get up, we put our shoes on, we decide that we want to get rid of that 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds. Because why? Because we will feel better. We will be less distracted with our weight. We will be better able to instead of focusing on ourselves and focusing on our weight problem, we'll be able to focus on doing instead of thinking. We want to do more and think less, my friends. We want to be able to help people. We want to be able to live well. We want to be able to be productive. And we can do all those things as soon as we get our mind off ourselves, get out of the little me bubble. Yesterday I made a video about what it's like to live in the little me bubble. I've done it. We all do it. It's a very human tendency to do that. And it's actually a very boring, very sad, small way to live. When we're in the little me bubble, it's all about poor, pitiful me. When we are in the little me bubble, all we can do is regurgitate about what the world owes us, what this person or that person didn't do or did do. It's all about us. It's a very small, sad way to live because there's a big, beautiful world. When we are focused on me, then we are unable to see the big, beautiful world. We are unable to see other people, what they're going through. There's nothing new under the sun. I have talked about losing my job and how depressed I've been and how I've played the blame game and how I felt like a failure, even though it was a revenue decision and many other people were also escorted out the door. It was a company decision. I was at the company a year and a half. It was not performance related. It's happened to my dad in a very ugly, unpleasant way. It's happened to many people I know, people in my family. It's happened to my husband, my sister. A company is there to make a profit. And if there is a revenue loss or a change in orders or a loss of a contract, they have to shave off money. And they do that. The fastest way to do that is by payroll. So they just walk people out the door. A job is not your friend. Your employer is not your friend. Your employer is a way that you make a paycheck. You do them a service, and in return for that service, you get paid for it, nothing more. If you make friends at the job, that's frosting on the cake. But a company is not your friend. It is an employer. There is payment for services rendered. If they get in trouble, and it's all about profit, they're not a charity. They will shave off payroll. It's happened to me several times, and it is a very, very difficult, challenging thing to go through because the tendency is to take it personally. But we must not do that because then we are focused on ourselves, poor, pitiful me. We continue living well. We continue moving forward. We decide that we want to live better. We decide that we want to live in a different way than being depressed, miserable, playing the blame game, resenting people. We decide that we want to make these changes because we want the peace that passes all understanding. So where do we start and how do we start? How do we start to live better? We just start living better by getting our mind off ourselves. We stop worshiping misery. We stop worshiping unforgiveness. We stop worshiping ourselves. We stop worshiping people, places, and things. That's what I've talked about in my videos on Live Fit with Laura. We instead worship our Creator, the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Jesus, His name is Christ Jesus. And we focus on Him. We don't focus on poor, pitiful me or what this or that person did or these unfortunate disappointments or memories that we have. And we get off that hamster wheel and we open our eyes to the big, beautiful world. We open our eyes to the big, beautiful world because we want to leave a legacy of hope. We take a look at our behavior and we take a look at the payoffs. The payoffs are what keep us where we are. Familiarity, staying mad at people. We stay overweight and we stay addicted to that many times because it is familiar. Many times it is because we think we can't lose weight or we can't forgive. Many times we think if we forgive, we're letting that person off the hook. No, we're not. When we forgive, we are letting ourselves, we are giving that burden away. We're no longer carrying that burden and we are able to live well when we forgive. So the place to start is today. The place to start is have a healthy breakfast. Fix yourself a bowl of oatmeal with milk and fresh berries. have a banana. Let's veer away from the processed food, the junk food. Let's start eating the one ingredient foods. Let's start eating the fresh fruits and vegetables. And let's start cooking our meals. That's the best place to start feeling better and getting that weight off. We start feeling better and getting the weight off by eating whole foods, by staying away from the processed foods. That's the place to start. We stop playing the blame game. We realize that there is a payoff for staying the way we are. A lot of times it is familiarity, a lot of times it is helplessness or lack of knowledge or lack of information, a lot of times it is fear or intimidation. Let's just start today, one day at a time, one meal at a time, one little bit at a time. For those of my friends that have depression like I do, it is very important to keep on moving. It is very important to forgive. It is very important to forgive ourselves. So live fit with me. I totally understand what it feels like to be trapped in the muck of depression, feel like a failure after a job layoff, feel lost and wandering around after the passing of a parent. I lost my mother. We continue one day at a time, one moment at a time. The key is to keep moving. So living fit with Laura, we say the prayer, "This is the day my Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in the day. I'll not live in want today. I'll not criticize, curse, condemn, or compare. I will stay out of the little me bubble. I will look forward to those things that lie ahead, putting behind me those things that lie behind." I will look forward to those things that lie ahead, putting behind me those things that lie behind. If I am regurgitating the past and I am afraid of what's around the corner, I will never get to that place around the corner if I stay stagnant. We keep moving, my friends. Let's get up and get our exercise. I'm going to have my hill run. I've had my warm up. Now I'm going to have my hill run. Living fit with Laura, one day at a time, to get and stay, staying stable, serene and strong. I'm proud of you.